PPT what I have shared, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See,
Yes, ma'am.
yesterday's class we have seen agile methods. What is the main what is the main aim of the agile methods is nothing but just to reduce the overhead that is going to happen in the software process activities, right? And by using this one, you can it will able to respond quickly to changing the requirements, right, without any excessive rework. Because of that, we are going to use the agile methods, that what we have seen. And after that, we have seen some principles of the agile method. There should be the customer involvement should be there, incremental delivery, and they are going to focus on the people, not on the process. And it is has to change the designing part at the system requirement or the requirements are going to change. It has to accommodate those changes, and it has to maintain a simplicity, right? Wherever possibility is there, you can reduce the complexity of the system. You need to eliminate the complexity from the system. These are the some principles of the agile methods are there that we have seen in the last class. Then after that, where exactly these agile methods are applicable, they are mainly used in the product development in a organization where you are developing the small or the medium sized products, right, for the selling purpose. At that time, you can go for the agile methods or the custom system development within an organization. That means whenever the customer is committed to become involved in the development process, where they can use the agile methods, that what we have seen in the last class. Then after that, we have started with two different kinds of a software development techniques, right? That is, one is a plan driven and second one is the agile development. How exactly these two techniques are going to differ, that what we have seen in the last class, right, with a diagrammatical manner. And we have seen what is the exactly the difference between the plan driven and the agile software development. I hope it is clear, guys, till this point. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, is that PPT is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Today we will start with the next concept, that is agile development techniques. In that we are going to
Ma'am.
study. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, it is in normal format, ma'am, not in PPT, ma'am.
But I have shared it in a PPT. The- I
No,
put
ma'am.
it in a
I've seen-
presentation mode. Now see.
No, ma'am, it's not.
Now.
Ma'am,
No,
now
ma'am.
it came up.
Now it is showing in
Ma'am.
presentation mode.
Yes, ma'am. Extreme programming, ma'am.
And that is what it is in the normal PPT, or it is showing in a presentation mode, slideshow.
Still, it's in normal only, ma'am.
Normal, ma'am.
Now see, if I put it in a slideshow, what it is showing?
No, ma'am. Still, it's in normal only, ma'am. Normal mode only, ma'am.
Normal mode only. Then
Yes, ma'am.
again, why it is becoming, because of maybe because of network problem. But I am putting it in a slideshow presentation mode, but still it is not showing. Maybe some network issues, because of that maybe
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is not sharing the PPTs properly. It's okay, we'll put it in a normal mode itself and we'll start with the class. Okay. Now we'll see the agile development techniques. Is that whatever the things are written in the slide, can you see that one, right? It is
Yes,
visible
ma'am.
clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In that we are going to
Yes, ma'am.
study here extreme programming. Yes, as already yesterday's class we have seen some introductory part about the extreme programming. Because once again I'll explain it. What is exactly extreme programming? You can also call it as a EXP. Right? It is one of the agile development technique. Right? Here, what exactly it is going to use the iterative development. Here, what I told, every several times per day it is going to produce the new versions of the software will be get produced by the extreme programming. And every week, every 2 weeks, it is going to deliver the increments to the customers. Increments are nothing but the different versions, right? And there you are going to add up the different functionalities. And whenever before building that particular software, right, it has to run through the all the different kinds of a test. It may be unit testing, component testing, system testing, right, the acceptance testing. All the different kinds of testings will be what run. Once those are run successfully, then only that particular software will be get accepted. right? These are the what some things are there with respect to the extreme programming, you can say, right? It is going to use the iterative development approach. New versions may be built several times per day. Increments are delivered to the customer every 2 weeks, and all the tests must be run for the every build, and build is only accepted if the test runs successfully, right? This is what we have seen in the last class about the starting related to the what do you mean by extreme programming. Next, I think yesterday's class we have gone through this particular diagram also, how exactly the release cycle will be there in case of extreme programming, right? First you need to select the user stories for the release, and stories will be broken down into the different types of a task. Then you are going to plan for the release, then you are going to develop the different increments, you are going to integrate that one, and you are going to test that particular system as a whole, and you are going to release the software. If again the customer come up with the changing requirement, right, you are going to evaluate the system. Again the process is going to what start from the first phase. That means it is in a cyclic manner. This is what the release cycle you can say with respect to the extreme programming, right? Now these all points how they are going to work with respect to the taking into the consideration of one example, we are going to study it here, right? How exactly the extreme programming release cycle is going to work, which are all the different things you are going to consider within the extreme programming, that we are going to study here in today's class. Getting the thing, guys? Yes? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that PPT is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And my voice is clear? I
Yes,
hope
ma'am.
so.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Before
ma'am.
that, before taking the example for the extreme programming, first we will see where exactly, if you are using the extreme programming, what all the different principles are there, what all the different practices are there, if you are going to use the extreme programming in the development of the software, right? Here it is going to use the principle called as the incremental planning. Already you know incremental planning indicates what? Incremental planning indicates what? As the new requirements are going to come, you are going to develop the new version or the new increments. Yes or no? As there is a change in the requirement, you are going to add that particular functionality as to indicate it by the new increments. That is what you can call it as the incremental planning. First, you are going to develop the initial implementation, and you are exposing it to the user commit, right? If he is agreed, you will go with the development of that one. Otherwise, what you are going to do? If he is changing any requirements within that particular software, that needs to be present in the software. So for that case, you are going to produce the new increment. So the incremental planning, this particular thing you are going to use it in a extreme programming. Just go through the description here, guys. The same thing is written. Requirements are recorded. Yes, as the customer is going to produce the requirement, he is going to specify the requirements. Those are recorded in the story cards. See, here the new terms will come in the extreme programming. Stories, right? As in the release cycle we have seen here. Select the user stories for the release, right? That means that stories, nothing but those are recorded on the stories card, and the stories to be included in a release are determined by the time available and their relative priority. The same thing as already in the last class, few classes we have discussed, the user requirements will be prioritized. That means the requirements will be given with a priority, which is going to have a highest priority, that will be implemented in the early increments, right? Which is having a lowest priority, the requirement, that functionality you are going to implement at the end, right? The same thing is used here in the extreme programming also. The requirements, whatever you are going to collect it from the customer, those will be recorded, those stories will be recorded in the story card, and the stories are included in a release. Whatever the requirements are nothing but here stories, they are calling it as a stories, right? The stories to be included in a release are determined by the time available and their relative priority. That means you are going to consider the priority of the requirement, right? Before planning for the functionality, or before planning the designing and the implementation part of that particular software according to the requirement, you are going to check out the priorities of those requirement. According to that, you are going to go for the implementation part, right? Then second one is small releases. That means,
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, Ria wants to join the class, ma'am. Please allow.
I'm I have allowed everyone, right? Admit all, that extension is there. I'm not manually going to add anyone. She
Ma'am,
can
but
join.
she had messaged, ma'am.
See, tell her to join once again.
Wait, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Someone is trying to join. See, they have admitted automatically. Ria,
Yes, ma'am.
what problem you were facing? Because I have already added the extensions. Admit all in Google Meet. I am not restricting anyone to join this meeting. Ria, have you joined properly now? Soumya and Ria, both of you are joined, I think, now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, as we have discussing, the it is going to give the small release. This is the one more kind of a principle. As already told, see, you are going to, according to the requirement, you are going to give the priority, right? Whatever the special functionalities are there, those you are going to do it in a earlier increment. That means the minimal set of a functionality is you are going to give the first business value that will be developed first. Then the releases of the systems are frequent and incrementally add the functionalities to the first release. That means whichever the requirements are there, according to that, which functionality you need to add into that particular software, which is having the highest priority. That thing you are going to do it in the initial implementation, then you are releasing that particular software, right? Then after that you are going to add the additional functionalities incrementally, one by one, right, according to the requirement to the first release. That is what called as the small releases. That means initial implementation you are going to do, right? In that you are going to add up the minimal useful set of functionalities. Clear? That is the second principle. Then third one is simple design. That means enough design is carried out to meet the current requirements and no more, right? According to the priority, which is having a special functionality, which is going to provide a highest functionality, right? Special features. For that you are going to give first you are going to do the designing part, right? According to that, it is going to meet the current requirements, right? For that you are going to produce the simple designing you are going to do. The next is test first development. That means here you are going to use the automated test, unit test, this particular framework. That means I think JUnit, that is one of the automated test framework, you can say. Such type of test frameworks are used to write the test for the new piece of a functionality before that functionality itself is implemented. That means before implementation of that particular functionality that needs to be added within the software, before that only you are going to test that piece of functionality before that functionality itself is added into it itself is implemented. Getting the thing? Before only you are going to do the testing. For that, the automated unit test frameworks will be used in case of extreme programming, right? Then next is refactoring. That means whatever the developers are there, all developers are expected to refactor the code continuously. As soon as possible, the code improvements are found. This keeps the code simple and maintainable. That means, now for example, you are developing a particular software. You have one developer team, right? In that team, they are written already some programs for that development of that particular software, but they want to change some programs, right? So that the complexity of that particular system will maybe get reduced. That may be the reason. Or the maintenance of that such programs will be easier, right? So for that case, what those developers will do, they will refactor the codes continuously, right? To reduce the complexity of the system, or maybe reduce the maintenance of the the system, because of some reasons they are going to refactor the code continuously to make the code improvements. That is what called as the refactoring. Such principles will be used in case of extreme programming. I hope it is clear, guys. Some principles we have seen. It is compulsory is going to use the incremental planning. Small releases will be there. That means as the initial implementation is done, that will be released to the customer. Then simple designing. According to the current requirement, you are going to do the simple designing part. Test first development. Name itself indicates. You are going to test that particular increments or the version of the software before that will be actually implemented. Right? That is what called as the automated unit test frameworks will be used for that case. Then refactoring means you are going to refactor the code or change the code continuously to make the improvements within the code. Right? These are the what some principles are there with respect to the extreme programming. I hope it is clear first things. Again, still so many are there. Are you getting, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? The next is
Yes, ma'am.
pair programming. Pair programming, name itself cares. If you are developing a software, right, the development team will be there. Right? In that development team, always whatever the individuals are there, they are going to work in a pair. Right? The developers are going to work in a pair, checking each other's work and providing a support to always do a good job. That means in a pair they are going to do the work. Right? They may sit on the same PC and they will start with the working. Right? So to get the good job, right, to support always to do the good job, for that case the developers are going to work in the pairs. That is what called as the pair programming. Name itself cares. Right? Programming, the developing will be done in pairs. Right? Two members together they are going to do the work to get the good job. Then next is collective ownership. That means, see, the pair of developers work on all the areas of system so that no island of expertise develop, and all the developers should take the responsibility for all of the code. Anyone can change anything. As already I told in the last class only, we have studied some principles related to the agile method. In that they are going to focus on the people, not on the process. That particular principle is there. That means for every individual they are going to give us such freedom that they can change the code at any point of time. Right? Right? They are going to have a such freedom to get to make the improvements within the code. That is possible. Is that clear? The same thing is used here. Collective ownership. That means the pair of, now in pair they are working, right, on all the areas of a system. So they are not expertise to develop in a particular area. Instead of that, all the developers, they can take the responsibility for all of the code. Yes, all of the code. They are not going to work on some part of the code within that software development. Right? Instead of that, they need to understand the whole code which is used for developing that particular software, and it is responsibility of that developers. Right? They can change at anything within that software code. Is that clear? That is what collective ownership. That means they are going to work it together. Right? They can make a changes. Anyone can change anything within that code. That is possible, because everyone is owner of that particular software who are into the development team. Clear? The next is continuous integration. As soon as the work on the task is complete, it is integrated into the whole system. Right? As already I told, it is going to develop the software in terms of the increments. Different versions of the software system it is going to produce. So at the end, what you need to do? You need to integrate those all increments, as then only it will work as a one whole system. So after such integration, all the unit tests in the system must pass. That means whenever you are going to do the integration, it has to pass all the unit tests. Clear? You see the thing, guys? As soon as the work on the task is complete, it is integrated into the whole system. right? All the requirements, all the functionalities, if it is covered in the final version of the system, what you need to do before final version, you need to combine all the versions of the system. You need to integrate those all things, right? After any such integration, once you done the integration, all the unit test in the system must be passed, right? Then next is sustainable pace, that indicates large amount of overtime are not considered acceptable as the net effect is often to reduce the code quality and the medium term productivity, right? Large amount of overtime, right? If the developers are going to work in a overtime, it is not considered as acceptable as a net effect. It is often going to reduce the code quality and the medium term productivity. Clear? The next is on-site customers. A representative of the end users of the system, right, should be available full time for the use of the XP team. In an extreme programming process, the customer is a member of the development team itself, and he is responsible for bringing the system requirements to the team for the implementation. See, as already told, in agile method, compulsory the customer involvement should be there, right? So it is one of the technique. Extreme programming is one of the technique for the agile development. So compulsory the customers is also considered as one of the member in the development team itself, because he is going to make the decision about the requirement, what requirements needs to be changed, yes, what requirements, new requirements or the new functionality needs to be added within the software. So he is also considered as one of the member within the development team, right? So that according to his requirement, they are going to do the implementation. That is what called as the on-site customer. That means he must be available all full time for the use of the XP team. Clear, guys? These are the what some principles and the you can say the practices related with the extreme programming. They may ask the questions related to this, right? What is extreme programming, and write the practices or the principles that are involved within the extreme programming. That time you need to write, you need to cover these all different kinds of principles or the practices, and what is the meaning of that one in a simple manner. On your own way you can write it. By seeing the at least name, you will come to know what exactly this principle is indicating. Correct? Are you getting, guys? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now we will study those all principles in detail by taking the one example. Okay? By taking one example, we are going to study those all principles. Now see, whatever the principles you have studied already in the extreme programming, that and the exile principles that we will study first. See, as already told, it is going to use the incremental planning. See here, incremental development is supported through the small and the frequent system releases. Right, small releases you are going to do, so because of that you are going to do the incremental development. And the customer involvement means the full-time customer engagement with the team should be there, as already told, right? That the people not process through the pair programming, collective ownership and the process that avoids the long working hours, right? They are going to focus on the more code, right, not on the designing part. So code who is going to write? People, right? So they are going to give the mere focus will be given to the people, not for the process, through the pair programming. Already you know what is pair programming indicates. What is pair programming indicates? What is pair programming? I told just now the principle. The developers are going to work in a pair, right? They are going to work together, two members in a pair, correct, to get the good job, correct? So how the people not process, that particular principle will be what given by the extreme programming. Is the extreme programming is nothing but it is through the pair programming, the collective ownership. These are the two principles are there, no? Now just we have seen in the extreme programming, right? And the change is supported through the regular system releases, right? The small releases will be done in case of a XP, right? That is extreme programming. So as the requirements are going to change, that will be supported to the regular system releases, right? Frequently it is going to release the systems, right? The different versions of the systems will be released, so that itself indicates that the change is supported, changing requirement or the needs is supported. Then maintaining simplicity through the constant refactoring of the code. These are the what we are combining, right? What is the agile method principles we have already seen in the yesterday's class, how those will be met by using the extreme programming. Through the which are all the principles, the same 5 agile principles are going to be met by the extreme programming that we have seeing here, right? The maintenance simplicity, this particular principle of the agile method, which will be maintained or supported through the constant refactoring of the code. Already you have said refactoring indicates what? You are going to change the code continuously to get the improvement within the code, right? You are going to refactor the code continuously as a developer, right? So through that you are going to maintain the simplicity of your code. Clear, guys? Getting the thing? What this slide exactly indicates? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you there? Please respond. Only one guy is responding. How about others? 6 members
ma'am.
are there. Today who is absent? Sumaya.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you getting what that exactly indicates? See, in yesterday's class we have seen this agile. Starting only I'll go. Wait. See, agile methods we have studied. There's some principles we have studied, right? Have you remembered? Customer involvement, incremental delivery, people not process, embrace change, and the maintenance simplicity. How these principles will be met by the extreme programming that I have shown here now. Is that clear? Those are all 5 principles of the agile methods. How those will be met by using or through which are all the principles of the extreme programming that is there in this particular slide. I hope it is clear. Clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we'll see influential XP practices, where exactly this XP the standard programmings will be used. Extreme programming has a technical focus and it is not easy to integrate with the management practice in most of the organization. That means, as already I told, it is one of the techniques in the agile development. Always agile developments are going to be give a focus on the code, not on the designing part. So extreme programming is also having a technical focus, not on the management of that particular the software. And consequently, while the agile development uses the practices from the XP, the methods as originally defined is not widely used. So in which are all the key practices the extreme programming will be used is nothing but here the user stories for the specification. See, that means as already told, the stories are nothing but here the requirements. You can indicate, you are indicating the stories in extreme programming. Those are nothing but the requirement. So the user stories are used for the indicating the specification, and refactoring you are going to use, and test first development. That means before implementing any of the functionality, right, before that only the unit test, automated unit test will be done. That is what called as a test first development, and the pair programming. These are the some key practices. Those are involved in the extreme programming, right? The stories are used to indicate the user specification or the customer specification. Refactoring, that indicates that to improve the code, right? The refactoring of the code will be done continuously by the developers. Test first development indicates what? Name itself indicates test first development. Before developing is nothing but implementation. Before implementation of the functionality, you are going to do the testing. Unit testing will be done. Automated unit testing work will be done. Pair programming indicates what? The developers are going to work together in a pair, right? That is what called as the pair programming. These are the main key practices which are involved in the XP, that is extreme programming. I hope it is clear. Getting the thing, guys? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Those key
Yes, ma'am.
practices only now we are going to study in detail. So the first what I told, the user stories for the requirement or the specification. As already told, here the stories are nothing but the requirement. So in XP, in extreme programming, the customer or user is a part of the XP team. That means he is as a member of the development team of that particular software itself, and he is responsible for making the decisions on the requirement, because the customer is going to change the requirement, right? He may want to add the new functionalities within that particular software, so he is responsible for making the decisions on the requirement, and he will be considered as a part of the XP team itself, right? The user requirements are expressed as a user stories or the scenarios. As already told, the user requirements itself we are calling this here the stories, right? So that is what the release cycle we have seen, the extreme programming release cycle. First you need to select the user stories for the release, right? That means stories are nothing but you are going to select the user requirement, right, for that software release. Then these are written on the cards, and the development team is going to break down these into the implementation task. These tasks are on the basis of the schedule and the cost estimates. See, according to the requirements, once they have gathered the requirement from the user, right, those all stories will be written on the story cards, right? And after the stories cards will be divided into the number of tasks. Those will be break down into the number of tasks according to the release cycle, right? Have you remembered this diagram? See, first select the user stories for the release. That means the requirement you are going to select it. Then you are going to break down the stories into the task. That itself indicates that what you are doing here, you are going to break those stories what you have collected into the implementation task, right? And these tasks are basis of the schedule and the cost estimate, how much time that particular task is going to take, right? And whether is it important to add within the software first only, right? Because if it is an important functionality, you need to add it in a first release itself. If it is having a less priority, you can add it in the last release of the software. That is possible. First you need to give the importance to the very important functionalities that needs to be added within the first release of the software. So these tasks are basis on the schedule and the cost estimates. Clear? And the customer is going to choose these stories for the inclusion in the next release based on their priorities and the schedule estimates. As already I told, the customer is going to choose the stories, yes, which needs to be included within the next release, right, according to the priority of those requirements or the functionality, and what is the schedule estimate is there. Depending upon that, he can make a decision which requirements needs to be added in the next release. This is what called as the user stories for the requirement, right? This is the one key practice they are going to use within the extreme programming. I hope you are getting the thing. Very simple, right? The customer involvement should be there, compulsory. They should be available full time for the XP team. So they are considered as a part of the XP team itself, and they will have they can make the decision about the requirements, which are all the requirements needs to be given highest priority, lowest priority, which needs to be added in the first release. This everything decisions will be taken by the customers itself. At least remember this one. Where those stories will be written, the requirements itself we are calling it as a stories. Those will be written in the written in the story cards, right? So the development team, what they will do, they will break down those stories into the number of tasks. That is the word. The work is done in the first phase of the, you can say, the release cycle in the extreme programming. I hope it is clear, guys, getting the thing. Is that
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Now see how the
Ma'am.
story will be given. how the story will be given. See, one example for the story, right? How the requirements will be given. Just go through this prescribing medication story, right? Whenever you will go for the hospital, how the doctor is going to prescribe, right? What all the medication needs to be taken by the patient, right? For that, the story, what all the requirements are needed, that is written in this particular slide. Just go through this, guys, how they have written the story here. Prescribing the medication for the patient. The record of the patient must be open for the input, right? How this particular software development will be done by using the extreme programming. That is what written. See, the record of the patient must be open for the input. Click on the medication field. Select either the current medication, new medication, or the formulary, right? Three options will be given. If you select the correct medication, current medication, you will be asked to check the dose. If you want to wish to change the dose, enter the new dose, then confirm the prescription. Yes or no? The same current tablets what they have prescribed last time, the same thing if you want to continue, at that time the doctor what he will do, he will press on the same prescription. So he is going to confirm the same prescription. If they want to change the dose, if you want to change the medication, at that time he can go for the new medication. This is how the requirements will be written within the stories. I hope you are getting. Just read it out. You will come to know what it is exactly. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
read it out. Just read it
Yes,
out.
ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
Read it. See, if it is a current medication, you will be asked to check the dose, right? If you wish to change the dose, enter the new dose, then confirm the prescription. If you choose the new medication, second option, the system will assume that you know which medication you wish to prescribe. Type the first few letters of the drug name, right? The tablet name. You will then see the list of possible drugs starting with these letters. Choose the required medication. You will be then asked to check the medication you have selected is correct. Enter the dose, then confirm the prescription. If the new medication is, how they are going to do, right? How exactly this particular software is going to work, that they have given. If you choose a formulary, you will be presented with a search box for the approved formulary. Search for the drug required, then select it. You will then ask to check that the medication you have selected is correct. Enter the dose and confirm the prescription. If it is that particular drug name, it is not present in the list, right? After typing the first few letters, you want to prescribe the new drug itself. At that time, you can go for the formulary. In all the cases, the system will check that the dose is within the approved range and will ask you to change it if it is outside the range of the recommended doses. After you have confirmed the prescription, you will be displayed for checking. Either click OK or change. If you click OK, the prescription will be recorded on the audit database. If you click change, you will re-enter the prescription medication process. This is how the requirements will be given by the user. This is what called as the story. Clear? Getting the thing?
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
what, just one example how exactly
ma'am.
the story looks like. They have written it in a story card, right? This is what the story card, you can say. Within the story card, they have written all the requirements. What are all the things needs to be present within that particular software, that they have written here. I hope it is clear. Right? Now, what is the next thing? According to the development team, what they will do, whatever the story is written in the story card, yes, they are going to break down that stories into the number of implementation tasks. Yes or no? That is the thing is there. They are going to divide that, getting the thing, the story into the,
Yes,
they are going
ma'am.
to break down the stories into the number of implementation tasks, right? See here, like this they are going to divide the story into the number of tasks. First, change dose for the prescribed drug. This is the one task. they will indicate it as for the implementation. Formulary selection, for that one more thing. Dose checking, for that one more task is implementation task is divided. Like this, depending upon the stories what you have selected, but all the requirements are there, right? The development team, what they will do, they will break down that stories into the different tasks for the implementation purpose. Clear? This is how they are going to do, right? With respect to that prescribing the medication software, whatever the requirements we have seen in the earlier stage, in the earlier slide. Clear? Right? Just 3 examples are there here. Task 1 is indicating the change of dose of prescribed drug, right? Formulary selection, dose checking, right? These are the some tasks, implementation purpose. Clear, guys? And they are writing in this particular task what needs to be developed, what exactly dose checking this particular task needs to do, right? What exactly dose checking indicates? It has to check the range of the dose, whether this is a recommended range or the non-recommended range, that it needs to check it out, right? If it is outside the range, it has to issue an error message. The dose is very high or dose is very low, right? If it is within the range, then it has to enable the confirm button, right? Like this, they are going to do the implementation task. They are going to divide the stories into the number of implementation tasks. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. This is the first key practice that is used in the XP, right? Use the stories for the specification. First they are going to write the stories, then they are going to divide that or break down that stories into the number of implementation tasks. I hope it is clear, guys, getting the thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then second is refactoring. Second key practice in the XP is refactoring. That means what you need to do here, refactoring name itself indicates you are going to refactor the code continuously to make an improvement within the code. That work is done by the development team, right? See, the conventional wisdom in software engineering is to design for the change. It is worth spending time and the effort anticipating the change, as this reduces the cost later in the life cycle, right? So the XP, however, maintains that this is not worthwhile as changes cannot be reliably anticipated. So rather it is going to propose the constant code improvement, right? Code improvement itself we are calling it as a refactoring, to make the changes easier when they have to be implemented, right? Now the same code you have written in a very complex manner, right? In a development team, one more guy will come, right? He is also a part of a development team. What he will do? He will change that code, right? He is going to do the improvement within that code so that it can be used easily. It can be maintained easily, right? That is what you are calling it as a refactoring. There is a constant code improvements will be there to make the changes as the requirements are going to change. According to that, you are going to add a lot of codes into that, right? So in the existing code itself, you can do some improvements to add those functionalities. That is also possible, right? So that it is to make the changes easier when they have to be implemented. That is what you are calling it as a refactoring. Clear? Just remember, refactoring is nothing but continuous code improvement. Clear? Yes, guys? Hello? Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Now see,
Yes, ma'am.
some more points about the refactoring. The programming team, that is the developing team, look for the possible software improvements and make these improvements even where there is no immediate need for them, right? See, they are not going to give they are not going to concentrate on the only important functionality. Instead of that, they are going to do the code improvement even though that functionality is not very important, right? They are going to do the improvements in all the areas of the codes. Clear? This improvement improves the understandability of the software and it is going to reduce the need of the documentation, right? Code improvement, by doing so you can easily, it is going to improve the understandability of that particular software. Along with that, it is going to reduce the documentation part, right? The changes are easier to make because code is well structured and clear, right? And however, some changes require the architecture refactoring, and this is more expensive, right? To what the come up with the, if you have come up with the different changing needs, right? According to that requirement, if it is possible or if it is compulsory to change the system requirement or the system architecture, right? For that architecture also the refactoring will be done, but it is very expensive. Instead of that, what they will do, they are going to do the improvements within the code itself, right? This is what all about the refactoring. You can see the examples for the refactoring, guys, in a programming. See, reorganization of the class hierarchy to remove the duplicate code, right? If the same code, if you are using in a program, right, you can reorganize the class hierarchy. Already C++, Java you are studying, right? How exactly, what do you mean by class, what is class hierarchy, correct? Inheritance, have you studied these all things, right? To improve the code, they can reorganize the class hierarchy so that they can by using such techniques they can remove the duplicate code, that is possible, and tidying up and renaming the attributes and the methods to make them easier to understand, right? They are going to give the exact name. By seeing the name of the function of the method only will come to know what exactly that particular function is doing. So it is easier to understand that particular software, that is possible by giving such names, right? And the replacement of the inline code. What do you mean by inline code, guys? Hello, have you studied C++? Have you studied C++? What do you mean by inline code? Something is there? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
What is inline code? See, the third example for the refactoring, they have given it as the replacement of the inline code with the calls to methods that have been included in the program library. What do you mean by inline code? What do you mean by inline function? At least you have you remembered this one? Heard this in C++? I'm telling the name of the subject also, in which programming language you have studied. Friend functions, inline functions. Have you remembered what is inline function? No? Don't know what is inline function? So, Google it, and tomorrow's class I need an answer for this. What is inline code?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tomorrow's class, may I expect the answer for the inline code? From all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, what
Yes,
is
ma'am.
inline code?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can search for the C++. In C++ directly will get what you mean by inline function or the inline code. How exactly that is going to work. Yes, come up with the answer.
Ma'am, it is the process of it increases the execution time, ma'am.
It is going to increase the execution time. How?
Yes, ma'am.
How? You Google
Oh,
it. Yes, thoroughly you read it out about the inline code because it is very
Yes,
important
ma'am.
concept. So, such inline codes, if they are present in the program, whenever you are developing a software, what the developing team will do, they are going to replace such inline code with the calls and the methods, calls to the methods that have been included in the program library. These are some examples how they are going to do the code improvement. That is what called as a refactoring, right? Reorganization of the class hierarchy, right? To remove the duplicate code, renaming the attributes and the methods so that it can be easily understood, right? And the replacement of the inline code with the calls to the method, right? These are the some examples how they are going to do the code improvement, right? That is what called as the refactoring. I hope it is clear about the refactoring, guys. This is the second key practice. Clear? Is that clear? Hello? Is that clear?
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
there in the meeting. So the next
Yes,
key
ma'am.
practice is test first development. That means name itself indicates test first before the development. That means before actual development of the any functionality, you need to do the testing. Clear? That is what indicates the test first development. How that will be done in case of extreme programming, that we will see now. The testing is the central to the extreme XP, and XP has developed an approach where the program is tested after every change has been made, right? Once you done the changing in any of the functionality, right, after changing the requirement, right, every time the program will be get tested, right? That is what called as the in that manner the extreme programming you are going to use. So what are the different features are there with respect to the extreme programming testing? Test first development, as already told, before implementation every functionality needs to be tested. Incremental test development from the scenario. Scenario is nothing but stories. That means from the whenever we will gather the select the user requirement or the stories or the scenarios, from that there itself the testing, when you develop according to that requirement the first release of the software, the first increment you will develop or the initial implementation you will do, right? After according to the again new requirement, as the changing requirements are there, you are going to come up with the new requirement. So incremental test development from the scenarios itself, from the requirements itself, that will be done in case of a XP. And user involvement in test development and the validation, as already told, customer involvement should be there in the XP team. So the user involvement test in the test development and the validation that they are going to consider. And the automated test harness are used to run all the component test each time that the new release is built, right? Every time whenever we will the extreme programming is going to come up with the new version, right, every time it is going to run the automated test, right, to test the all the components which are present in that release of the software, right? These are the some key features are there with respect to the XP testing. I hope it is clear. Test first development, whenever there is a change in the needs has been made, every time the program is tested after making a single change, right, the program needs to be tested. That is the approach they are going to develop, use within the XP. These are the some XP testing features we have studied. Test first development, incremental test, user involvement in the test and the development, and automated test that will be done. Clear guys? Getting the thing? Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? See how the test driven development will be done. See, writing the test before the code clarifies the requirements to be implemented. That is what called as the test first development, right? Writing the test before the code clarifies the requirements to be implemented. Before implementation only you are going to write the test for that, right, for that functionality. And tests are written as a programs, not as a data, right? The testings you are going to indicate it as a programs, not as the data, so that they can be executed automatically. The test includes the check that has executed correctly, correct? So test you are indicating it is not just like a data to test the requirement or to test the particular program. Instead of that, the testing is also one type of a program. It is written as a program, so it is going to execute it automatically. That program, if you done some change in the program, right, once the changes has been made in the program, automatically the testing program is going to run and it is going to check is there any errors are there in the program, anything, right, how to recover from that particular testing, that everything will be done automatically. Clear guys? For that the testing framework such as JUnit that will be used. This is the one of the automated test framework, you can say. It is a one type of automated test framework, that is JUnit. Such type of testings will be used for the test first development in a XP. All the previous and the new tests are run automatically when the new functionality is added, as already told, right? All the previous and the new tests are going to run automatically. No need to run it manually. Whenever there is a change in the code, automatically those functions will be run. When the new functionality is added, this is checking that the new functionality has not introduced the error. Clear, guys? Automatically, whenever there is a change within your program or the new functionality is added in the program, automatically the testing programs are going to run, so that there is no any errors are introduced within the new functionality. That thing you can check it automatically. Clear? Getting the thing, guys? Test driven development.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, then next is customer involvement. This thing we will see in the next class, I think. Next thing is just customer involvement. That is the fourth key practice that is used in the XP that you are going to we are going to study in the next class. Okay, I hope it is clear. Getting the thing what is extreme programming, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then
Yes, ma'am.
we'll see the next remaining concepts of the extreme programming in the next class, and one more last point is remaining, that we will see in the next class. Somehow I think by tomorrow we are going to finish up with this first module of the software engineering. Clear? Then by tomorrow or Sunday I will give you the topics on which you want to give the seminars. You need to give the seminars, right, on software engineering. Clear, guys? I hope today's class, no
Yes, ma'am.
doubt,
Yes, ma'am.
everything is clear. Okay, then here we'll stop with this class. Thank you. Bye bye.